Village idiots.
Hey everyone, welcome to Village Idiots. My name's Alex. I'm joined by Josh. We're part of a world where confidence means nothing. It really is all about how you play the game, and how we play is by throwing off our sunglasses to take a catch at mid-off when the sun is in our eyes. This world is Village Cricket, and our team is Clapham In Cricket Club. Josh, how you going, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, very well. Oh, I remember that catch vividly. That was excellent.
I think it was a drop in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Nighthawk, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's why it was dropped, because he took the sunglasses off.
It was
the
too
light
bright
blinded him, and he couldn't take it. That's where he went wrong all the way along. Oh man, Nighthawk, we love you. It's a moment I will absolutely never ever forget. How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, all good. You know, just counting down the days till the Test matches start for England and the West Indies, obviously.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, no, all good. Just excited for today's guest. Counting down the minutes.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Have you had lunch today?
I have had lunch today. I'm less grumpy today because I've had lunch, yeah.
Thank God for that. Yeah, good. There's the benefits of starting a little bit later, I guess.
We always time the recordings to be at like 12:30. I'm like, well, it's too early to have it before. So I end up getting really hungry halfway through, you know.
Yeah, I know. And the mistake is usually we schedule them for about 11 and we're like, all right, we'll do them, and then we'll all have lunch afterwards, and then of course something fucks up along the way and we don't do them till like 12:30 and no one's eaten, and I'm like 3 coffees deep, and that's why I'm talking too fast. So our guest today, as you said, one we have all been looking forward to, absolutely. The biggest challenge for me introducing the guest was trying to decide on which nickname to go with. So I'll just kind of start off with where it all started. Bear Grylls, are you there, Rian?
I'm here, gents. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Rian.
Hey, Rian, thank you for being on, mate. We absolutely love you. Thank you. Let's kick it off with usual things. What's your role in the club at the moment? How long have you been with CICC? Everyone get comfortable.
You're expecting a long answer?
Yes.
Well, not a really long answer at the minute. So current role is just a playing member. So have been everything except a fixture sec and a president. The captain for a few years. Know all of you guys quite well, being involved for the club since I think 2003. So that was, well, feels like a lifetime ago. Eberstein was captain. We played every Saturday and every Sunday.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah. What, the same team?
The same club played every Saturday and Sunday because of the demand.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, guys used to get a lot of games opportunity. You had a few cancellations along the way, as you would always do. But, God. I think one of my first matches was actually playing at Nebworth around about the same time when there was a Robbie Williams concert. So it was absolute pandemonium getting to the game on Sunday. I think everybody was there 2 hours late. But, those are the kind of things that, stick in your mind.
God, that's amazing.
Jesus.
You had 2 teams out. Wow.
Yeah, it was just, classical 40 people trying to get into the Saturday team, which couldn't happen. So then they created some Saturday fixtures, and yeah.
Was it ever a league team then at that point?
Eberstein was close to taking us to league, and then I think it just didn't happen because of cost. So we tried to keep the cost down. I think my first match fee was something like £6 for a match,
Really?
Inflation has taken hold.
God, it's doubled now, yeah.
Yeah. But did you say you haven't been president? I thought you were president when I joined.
I was only fleetingly, but it was in that guise. It was, I would call, a totally silent role, unlike our current KJC.
Yeah, that's not a change in the role. That's a change in its president.
Yeah, that's a change in bureaucracy, I think.
Bureaucracy, autocracy.
Nice. Cool. All right, let's go back even further then. What's your earliest memory of cricket?
Growing up in South Africa, I think it was a bit of a sports mad house. So earliest memories of cricket was, I think, 4 or 5 in the back garden with mom and dad. Bats too big to hold, stumps bigger than what you were. So just with a tennis ball in the back garden, and then playing mini cricket, which as a kid you don't realize how special it was when you end up playing as a 6-year-old for your school at Newlands as a warm up to the provincial games and things like that, and then you just get hooked. You just get used to going everywhere where people go, and my dad eventually got me involved with cricket when he was playing for a club very much like Clapham. He was their leg spinner, and the one day somebody actually fell ill, and I came in, walked out with the pads all the way up to my shoulders, and like you will play with Clapham where there's a kid coming in and you kind of make a game of it. I had the benefit of the friendly side of the game from a young age. So yeah, it's quite a thing to look back.
Did Frecknell bowl underarm at you?
No, but he did tell the fieldsman they can't catch the ball.
No.
But yeah, very similar kind of feel to it.
So you played a lot through school and
at
club
school,
as well?
played a lot. I think school had 2 teams, so I think it was the under 11s and the under 13s. So we only had 2 school teams, but like proper teams, they're like hardball teams. And at school it was quite serious. Alex, I think you can relate. There's no real friendly cricket. If you play league, it's mainly league, etc., or school cricket. What you would call grade cricket.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely had fun around it in the back garden where it was 6 and out over the fence, and then you've got to jump over the 6-foot fence and dodge the massive dog on the other side who's trying to maul the ball or you. So run back, hop over the fence, and your dad's like, "Oh, you made it back alive." Oh, okay, good. Let's go again.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen? That happened
we'll
last
get up the end
season
and start
when we
bowling
played at Dulwich on that tiny ground. Someone got tonked for 6, and I think it was Hedge who went over, climbed over a fence, through a hedge to get a ball, and he came back with like blood just streaming down his face. That was so good.
He had scratches. A massive scratch on his
that's
forehead.
right, because he was in the Harry Potter position and he got the first ever Harry Potter fine.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it was rude. It was right down the middle of his forehead. It was outstanding. Yeah. All right, Rian, after 17 years, well, kind of 16, you can't really count this one, I suppose. You must have some lowlights and highlights. Please share some.
Lowlights. Watching Tony Butcher hit a double 100 after I'd double stepped down the wicket at Tintin. So one of our old tour fixtures was at Tintin. So I think Ed's mentioned this in one of the previous pods where it was his first game, where he got his nickname of Show Off. When the first catch he took was a diving one-hander at square leg, but double-stepped halfway down the wicket, and a Kiwi guy called Reese gave me out. And then I watched Tony smash the ball into the river. But the beauty of it, though, was the setting that you were in the shadows of Tintin Abbey. A bit of a cow patch as a pitch, but, really good to go there for a beer and a laugh and see the magical places. Other highlights is, my first 2 years that I captained Clapham. I'd grown up playing with a very strong side with the Butchers and the Ebersteins and the Battersbys, etc. And never, ever did Clapham win at Indian Gym. And then we were fortunate to win my first 2 years there. But embarrassing how they bollocked their team, where they actually told them they disgraced the club and things like that. But, total riot act. No, where the president came and apologized, and it made it a bit weird where we didn't. That's never the way Clapham's never treated it that seriously. But brilliant to actually play against a serious club like that, and where they had 1 or 2 first teamers, second, they'll put grading through.
Indian Gym was an amazing fixture.
Yes, and then go back the second year where they loaded the team more, and we beat them again. Just kind of. That was good, and I always love playing at Marlow. It's one of my favorite grounds. Great venue, low lights. My one and only duck for Clapham at Sunbury.
You've only ever had one duck?
In my entire career, I think, actually. That I can remember, yeah.
No!
Yeah, I think so. In league cricket, or league or school cricket.
That's ridiculous.
That's absolutely insane. I don't know any person on earth who could say that.
It's a bit of it's a bit of
That's
a obsession
mental.
to actually get one, right? So get once and then you go from there. So I don't think I'll do the Joel flash outside off stump for a Palladium.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But
that's
the brilliance was
incredible.
it, then putting on the duck suit and then seeing that it's not life or death. There is some humor around it, and
Yeah. I think that's what CICC is good for, is that when bad things happen, humour is the go-to very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So so the only time you ever got a duck in your life, you had to wear a duck suit afterwards.
Yeah, and post for a picture that went onto the Twitter account, the Facebook account. I don't know if it made it onto Instagram. We might not have had Instagram then, but I'm sure the picture is around there somewhere. And then another highlight, many people have mentioned it, was every tour we go on, it wasn't known what was going to happen with the Prague tour. Brilliant to see where the game's gone. Now Clapham got involved with that. And just a shout out for the guys at Czech Cricket who, I think one of the matches we played, one of the guys who played for them, he was wearing a helmet with like zebra painting on the helmet.
Amazing.
And he's just recently passed away, and they've, I think, constructed a third field and named it in memoriam of him. So just a shout out to them for their loss. And any tour you go on with Clapham, I think, is special. Last year was a bit of a wetter than normal affair. But, all of those stand out, and they're new and brilliant memories.
Yeah, you kind of make every tour, don't you, Rian?
Oh yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. What's your favourite tour you've ever been on then? If you've been on all of them?
No, I've not been on all of them. So the last couple of the Goodrich ones for me clashes with a wedding anniversary usually and Cindy's birthday. So I know she does. She you haven't seen them, but she does exist.
Well, that's one of my questions gone.
I have met her, and she's lovely. I met her at the cricket once, funnily enough.
Wow. God.
Yeah, so Goodrich is special in its own way. Tintin, which we used to have, is special in its own way, and also because new people go. It's a great way to see new people and new opposition, and also because they change. I never went to Clapham did international tours to Sri Lanka before I was with the club, and to South Africa, and I think there might have been one to the Caribbean. Understandably, that's a huge cost effort, and you've got to take a lot of planning with it. Maybe you only take 6 or 7, and then some of their guys pitch in. So
we were talking about this end of last season, whether we skip a year of tour and everyone puts in just a few quid a week kind of into a pot. And so you've it's not one massive lump sum suddenly. You've been saving for over 2 years. And actually you could go somewhere really amazing. But yeah, right now anyway, it's definitely not feasible.
Imagine cricket in Vietnam.
Oh, God. Imagine cricket. I can't. Imagine cricket in Regent's Park. God.
Well, there's a trip to Hawaii on the books coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
In a year or so, isn't there? That might be worth it.
It's so good definitely. To play cricket in Hawaii.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I've got a couple other questions, but I feel like I'm probably going to step on some of Josh's toes here. So, Josh, you want to take over for a bit, mate?
Oh, I can ask a few, certainly. I'd love it. So, Rian, first of all, there's a few questions today. Do you still count your own runs whilst batting?
Not count my runs. I've got an idea of how many I've got.
Because you used to be amazing at it, right? You used to be able to count them up to 40, 50 odd.
I can count them reasonably well, but I'm not a patch on Tony Butcher. He used to count the balls per over.
No.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I barely know if I'm in or out.
I'll give you a very topical story on that. So opened up with Tony at Sunbury the one year. And, Tony was playing and facing Martin, who's the older guy who seams the ball around, doesn't concede many. And first ball of the match, Tony walks up to him and he goes, "You see Martin, this old guy, just be careful of him. He's going to land the ball on a good length and he's going to move it this way, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool, Tony. Okay, cool, Tony." First ball of the match, Tony lunges forward, gets a nick on the ball, and they drop it. So I walk up the pitch and I'm like, "Hey, Tony, there's this old guy, Martin. He's going to land it on this and he's going to do that." So it started on that. And then, I managed to get a few runs through the covers and everything. we had a drinks break, and Tony was like, "How many have you got?" I was like, "I don't know, a couple." And Chris came out and gave us a score. I think I was on 42, and Tony might have been on 9 or 10, as he was facing Martin. Well, I think when I went out on 52 or something like that. Tony had by then gotten out, scoring 100, and he got to his 100 before I got to 50.
What?
Because he would count 5 balls and then get a single off the last one, go to the other and go 2, 4, or no.
Well, so, actually, Rian, that leads me on very nicely to another question.
Just before you do, I just wanted to mention I've also got a very good skill of being able to count my own runs, but so. It's surprisingly easy when you average 4.
Yeah, I was about to say, 1, 2. Yeah. So Rian, on the subject of hogging, strike, etc., talk us through Kingston Methodists. So I'll set the scene for the CICC listeners, which is that CICC are cruising to victory. Rian is in his early 80s, and Ed Greggs comes out to bat with only 20 or so needed to win.
Oh, here we go.
And so, Rian, what happened?
I don't know, Josh. I've got a foggy memory all of a sudden. I know. I think we played a game that was reduced to 35 overs because rain was approaching. I think they batted first, so we were chasing. I opened up with somebody, and then by the time Ed came in, I knew we were close to the end of the innings. So I was trying to get the score from the people on the side saying, how many have I got and how many do we need? Because if it was 50-50 between me needing 10 and the score being 20, then that makes it doable. But I wasn't going to hog the strike for the sake of it. In walks Ed, only to dead block everything, turn down a single to third man. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, no, it's all right. That's all right. We'll get you to 100. I know you really want to get you 100. We'll get you to 100.
So it's Ed, not you.
I can't take full blame, even though I'd like to. I'm not going to say I turned down the opportunity to get my 100. That would never, I think, be fair of me. I'm definitely partially to blame.
Because I heard that there was, at one point, every single fielder was put on the boundary and Ed hit it and still didn't run.
He was adamant. It's like, no, that's all right. Don't worry. I'll happily get it. I'll happily get a not out as long as I don't get a duck.
God, I'd have been fuming if I was in the opposition.
Ed was pulling out the classical. If you look at the MCC manual of a forward defensive, he had it down to a T, 10 balls in a row.
Okay, well, that's not as bad as I imagined.
I'm sure you might hear alternative versions of that as this podcast continues. From other people.
Exactly. I hope so. So, Rian, I know you, as someone that's done the website of the club for a while and inputted in a lot of statistics about CICC, you are the stats man for Clapham, and you've kept stats for a long, long time. I kind of want to know, first of all, how much of your computer's hard drive is just wasted with that space? And secondly, how much detail do you go into? I.e., do you know who was at the second slip when PVS got his 4th wicket at Marlow in 2015, for example?
The spreadsheet guru for Clapham actually used to be Tony Butcher, so I inherited it from him. So it used to be a case of, go to either Chris or Tony's house and whoever had the scorebook, and you did that over a few beers while shouting at the TV when Super Rugby was on. Them for the Sharks and me for the Stormers. And while we're on the rugby topic, I'll just quickly mention 32-12. 32-12, come on, boys. Rugby World Cup final.
Oh, the fight. Oh, I barely remember it, mate. Too drunk on Guinness at that point.
not as famously remembered as the Cricket World Cup final, of course.
I was about to say, at least you're so magnanimous in victory.
No, South Africa didn't even make the semi-finals in the cricket. But no, it doesn't go to who was fielding, etc. So it was mainly just at that stage, the stats were all on Facebook. We had a Facebook page. And after playing on a match, I used to get home, put it in a spreadsheet, and update who were the top 5 wicket takers and runs getters.
Yeah, I used to really like your Facebook updates of like, oh, well done to so and so. Until I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was, not Jim Clack, but someone like that, and you were like, "Congratulations, Jim's just got to 100 runs for CICC."
Might have been rude.
Yeah, but it took him like 7 years to get there. He's like, "This isn't a good thing, Rian. Stop advertising the fact my average is like 4.3."
I said, it might have been rude.
Yeah, I think it quite well have been rude actually.
Yeah, you used to do that quite a lot. It was any sort of stat would go into the WhatsApp group, right? It's like, hey, so such and such has just taken 75 wickets. It's like, why is that a milestone?
Well, I think at that time as well, for me, I remember being, captain of the club, and if we were averaging, I think, 8 or 9 people at a maximum to get to a game. So you continually had to I felt like I kind of had to be a champion of everybody, which I think is fair. But also, if you don't positively put a positive spin on somebody's involvement, why are they going to pitch up and go,
absolutely,
here's my match fee, and oh my God, we're going to have to play with 3 randoms in the team again. So
wait, does that mean that the lovely text messages you send me occasionally aren't genuine? You just want me to keep turning out?
They're not genuine. I honestly can't wait for you to top Tony Butcher's runs average, even though we play less games now than what Tony did when he scored his 800 and something, whatever. I don't know.
Well, talking of Tony, so you are only 850 runs behind Tony Butcher.
Only after how many games more?
Which is incredible. Yeah, but that's not the point. You can overtake him. Surely that's been your aim for a while now.
Yeah, I will never complain if I, get to a point where I can, match the great Tony Butcher in terms of runs. But ultimately, it's just to play and enjoy my cricket. And, if that means scoring runs for the club or taking wickets or taking catches, then that's a bonus. But, equally said, I'm now not somebody who plays most games. I might play half a season. So it's always about, fitting in where I can. At one stage, I was, captain, bring along the club kit and take a club picture in front of the scoreboard with the 6 or 7 guys that were there, update the website, and I don't know. I can appreciate the 50 emails a day just to get the team out on some days. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Indian Gym a while ago, and that was one of the first games I ever played for Clapham, I think, when you were captain. And do you remember what happened in the outfield that game?
Yes.
Yeah. You relocated my dislocated finger.
My words were, if this is dislocated, then this won't hurt so much. I don't think it hurt that much, did it?
It wasn't as bad as I'd expected. It was pretty, and it was also after about, I think it was fairly early in the innings, and I fielded for the rest of the day with it, and it was horrible. But yeah, no. So you were captain. I was like, who's this heroic South African captain that just relocates people's fingers in the outfield?
Am I the only guy who's ever pulled your finger?
Very good. But no, that was very impressive. And then I asked this next question as a wicketkeeper, and that kind of means quite a lot, I think. What exactly is it that you bowl? Because
I was hoping you could tell me.
Is it spin? Is it seam? What is it?
I try and hold it like you do a seam delivery so that the batsman thinks they're going to go straight, but I try and bowl leg cutters. So you roll your fingers as a right-hander from right to left top. So as without holding it like Alex would hold it deep in his wrists, I would hold it like a seam bowler would hold it.
Okay.
So hence, I can sometimes bowl the quicker one that goes straight.
Oh yeah, the one that hits me in the Adam's apple. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was nice.
You're telling me you can't read them. You catch most of them.
Oh fuck! Do you know what? I dread keeping to you. As much of a face I might put on it, I absolutely hate it. It's terrifying because those quicker ones, when you're standing up to the stumps and it takes a batsman by surprise, and it's suddenly at your neck. It's like, oh, it's so horrible.
Have we worked out a signal for those yet?
No, I don't think so. Maybe we need a specific island.
Yes,
that's what we need. Okay, and actually, so islands. I just wanted to do a little challenge with you, something to kind of set the tone for the next time we play. So we've got some new ammo. I want to give you 30 seconds to name as many islands as you can.
Just before you do, why islands?
Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, wait, we didn't talk about Rihanna's nicknames.
Yeah, I didn't ask. Because I thought it was going to come up.
Well, in that case,
so, yeah.
In that case, let's talk about Rihanna's nicknames.
Why are we talking about islands, Rihanna?
Well, I do have, as people might not see on this current screen sharing, I do have an elaborate amount of growth on the top of my head. COVID-19 has been blessing me in that regard. I've not had my haircut since I think the 29th of February, round about there. So, clippers are about to arrive today, actually. So I don't know if I'll go number 0, number 1, or a mixture of that and a few others. But I do have, thanks to my grandfather, a luscious amount of locks, except for there's this pathway in the top where there's nothing. And then there's like a little patch in the front. So that little patch in the front, the guys in Clapham have cottoned onto that, and I do have a few nicknames in reference to my so-called island.
Yeah, it's more the fact that you keep it is what's puzzling. Why doesn't
mate? If you've got as little as what I have, you keep it all.
Yeah, never shave that off, Rian. The abuse you get for shaving it would be way, way worse anyway. But I just love the progression of that nickname from the island to Bear Grylls to just any island, in the world.
Well, you are central to that progression as nobody else in the club has been.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because it all started when I was at keeper or around that time, and so it's just such an easy position just to keep shouting inane shit all day long, as every keeper in every fielder now does with Clapham with you.
Yeah.
I just love the occasional chirp from like deep square leg or somewhere absolutely miles away as someone says, "Come on, Mallorca," or just anything. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, the first time it happened, somebody at mid-on or mid-off asked me and said, "What are they going on about?" And I said, "I've got no fucking idea. You better ask me."
So, on that note, Rian, you've got 30 seconds, okay? As many islands as possible. You ready?
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go.
Well, biggest one, Australia, Greenland, Iceland, Fiji, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, PP Islands, Hawaii, Cayman Islands, Andaman Islands, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Madagascar, Seychelles, Crete. Cyprus.
Time's up. That Crete was good. The intense concentration on your face was a wonderful thing to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your face on my laptop screen when you're twisting your face and laughing and you're like, no, you didn't get that one. Did you get this one?
15. That's impressive.
Does that count for my articulate score, is it?
Yeah. No. Definitely not.
I feel like my island is getting more attention than cricket, by the way. Not bad.
Yeah, well,
rightly so.
And on the subject of non-cricket, I have one more question, really. You were the reason that the fashion avoidance fine came into being because you were wearing those god-awful sports sandals, which kind of the all-terrain sandal. Any regrets?
Wearing them, yes. Buying them, no, because they serve the purpose for going on a family hiking holiday. But not my finest moment. Getting ripped by you and all sundry right in front of the Sunbury clubhouse. I think the wording was, "What the fuck is that?" And then he took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Oh, great picture. But
that was 6 years ago today because the memory came up when we did the holidays. So 6 years.
Was it?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, Sunbury. I remember this.
I don't have them, by the way, just in case you wanted to borrow them for any occasion. They have gone to some skip somewhere.
Damn, I'll have to get my own.
Your comments had nothing to do with it, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of me for the moment, Alex, I reckon. So
no worries. Do you have any other favourite islands, Josh? Rian named a lot. What's your favourite one? I've got a few that I love for Rian.
About it.
Like you said, Mallorca's good.
Mallorca, Sardinia, Sicily. Ibiza. No,
I like the Mediterraneans as well, like Mykonos, Santorini. those are always good. Very, very good.
Wait, I thought you were going to say something because I think I once called out something that wasn't an island and I got the piss taken out of me. I can't remember.
God, may she rest in peace. But I also used to be called by somebody in the media who hosted Love Island.
Oh yeah, Caroline Flack for
true.
a while. That was good.
Yeah, and that's where Bear Grylls comes in too, right? Because Bear Grylls in the island. Is that right?
Yeah. Bear
that's
Grylls
his
had a
TV
show called
show,
The
yeah.
Island. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where it started. Like it was the island, then Bear Grylls, and then just random islands getting called out.
Oh yeah.
at games. It was brilliant.
Well, our current
Good
captain,
times.
I think, was the one that came up with Bear Grylls. So thanks, Matt.
Yeah, he's a good nicknamer.
You got any more questions, Alex?
No, the only other one that I wanted to ask is a bit more niche. I'm not sure if you remember it or not, although Rian, as the proven statistician and run counter, may remember this. I vaguely remember, Josh, I'm pretty sure you were there. We all went round to Hedges to watch the Ashes when they were back home. And you already fucking know what it is. Jesus. Right, we've got these letters that you were sending to him. Josh, do you remember this?
No, I wasn't there. I don't think when
Were you
early
not
in the
there?
morning at Hedges' house.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
You went there. All right, Rian, tell us what the hell was going on with that.
Hedge is one of my favorite Clapham people in that he can be incredibly serious without being serious. And, the fact that he had this nickname for Hedge, which I didn't at the time know that it was his first match when it all happened. So
Now I remember what it was. Yeah.
And
I just remembered. Oh, my God.
So I think he sent us his address in reference to the fact that he was going to host this event. So I just, took the address from there, took a few random pictures off Google, snipped them out, dropped them in an envelope, and sent them to his home address. And then he literally got this home delivered. Didn't know who it was from because it wasn't addressed to him. So I think there was a little typed up letter inside as well. And
we all went round Hedges' place, and he pulled us aside, and he's like, "Guys, do you know what the fuck this is?" And it's like just a letter and like envelope, and he just tips it upside down, and just all these pictures of hedgehogs just fall out of it.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
yes.
And he's like, "Is this one of you guys?" And we're like, "No, what the fuck is that?"
That's incredible.
The thing that gave it away was, I think it was on shell letterhead, and we were like, "It's got to be Rian."
It goes through a franking machine in Shell Centre, so it would have had a stamp on it.
That's so good, though.
But I think he only came to me after you guys had been there. So, yeah. I never fessed up. I actually let him come to me and ask. And once he said, I was like, yeah, I wasn't going to say it wasn't me, but hilarious.
Oh, that is amazing. Good work, Ria.
It was incredible. A strange prank, but elaborate, so I like it. It was good.
I mean, I love any
That was my welcome to the club moment for Hedge.
Any prank involving the Royal Mail is okay by me. That's great.
Absolutely. I mean, they're all playing a prank on us anyway, right?
Yeah, they're all right now.
Yeah. Okay. Rian, are you ready for some articulate?
Yeah, why not? Let's see if I can get 0.
Oh, that's the spirit. For the second time ever in your career, apparently.
Can't believe that.
Do you know how to play articulate?
Vaguely, yeah. Well, I think for the listeners, we might as well do a refresh.
No.
Nah.
I'm getting sick of this.
Josh wants to flip this and say,
I
Alex,
think everyone knows.
Yeah. You get a word, describe it, don't say the word, don't rhyme it, don't use the word in it, don't do starts with. Can you tell how excited I am to run through these rules now? Yeah, we know.
This is not a recording.
Ed, you get it right. You get it, Ed. Okay. Okay, Rian, your 2 categories. I'm afraid we are now down to only 2 categories because Joel exhausted DB's wheelhouse last run through. He just, I think I've got 2 of them left. I mean, there's only so many English cricketers that played tests in the 2000s. So although DB, do not fear. I am coming up with some other ones and maybe even a little twist on it for your actual episode whenever the hell that happens. So, Rian, your 2 categories that you can choose from are equipment and grounds or on field.
On field.
On field. Nice one. Good. That is
place
rich.
where we won't go this year. On the field.
Yeah. Yeah, good pick. All right, you can see the timer?
Yep.
Lovely. Good. Josh, are you ready?
I am ready.
Lovely. Boys, let's play Articulate. Go.
The animal for when you score 0.
Duck.
Not play front, but you play
Back
a cut
foot.
shot. Yeah. Tony Butcher has scored a lot of these for Clapham.
Runs.
The fielding position opposite the umpire. John T. Rhodes used to field here.
Point.
When somebody catches you off Shane Warne, David Boone's position.
Oh, slit.
Never mind. When you are facing the bowler, you are the...
Batsman.
Another word for batsman when you hit the ball.
Batter.
Never mind. When you hit the Josh Butler's shot over your head, you do what?
Run off celebrating. The scoop shots.
Yeah. The slow ball is stuck in the fingers.
The slow ball stuff.
Never mind. Knock a ball.
So, wait, I could have got that one because it was timer was fine. Oh, Rian did himself out one.
That's a glorious 3 or 4, I think.
5, I think.
No, that was 5.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I thought you were going to win it. You came out of the
It was a
blocks
strong start. But
much
also, I could
faster
have
than
kept
what
on
you
guessing
actually
with the
run a
David
single.
Boone.
Or
What
3
was it?
for that matter.
Gully, was it?
Point.
No,
It's caught a point.
I
wasn't
thought, no, David Boone was bat pad, surely.
Yeah, that was the next one. Yeah, bat pad was the next one. So first one was opposite the umpire was point.
Yeah, you got that.
And then bat pad was where David Boone fields.
knuckleball was the other one.
Andrew Todd's favourite delivery.
And also, I reckon when you said when you're batting and you're facing the bowler, on strike, surely.
Did I? Maybe? But yeah, we didn't get that.
I just thought it was batsman. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, not bad. So where does that put Rian in the leaderboard?
5 is not bad. So the leaderboard updated: Joel 6, Hedge 6, Rian 5, Freckers 5, Ed 3, Matt on 4. Still to play. We really need to do that.
Yeah.
It's 6 episodes in now. Great, but no, that was a great performance. I really thought.
Yeah, it was a strong start. Strong start.
Very, very strong start. There's plenty there, but there's lots of really niche, little kind of very particular types of things. But no, you did really well, Rian.
As Josh does more of these on-field quizzes, I think he will be better versed.
Don't blame me. I mean, I am terrible at it, but it's fine.
I think Josh is getting better.
God, not an awful. I did want to say one thing before we go.
Please do,
if that's all right. This is more of a statement than a question, really. But I don't really think there is any CICC without you. So this is kind of, I think, since I started anyway, which is 2011, I think. You're the captain, and by all accounts, from speaking to other people in the club, you got the club through some quite difficult times where it wasn't clear that we were going to be able to continue. And so I think on behalf of everyone, really, we just want to say thank you for being CICC. Whether you were officially president or not, I think, your part in the club's history is absolutely huge. And I'm certainly very grateful to you for kind of being captain when I started. And so just want to say thanks, really.
Very well said, mate. Absolutely.
Much appreciated, guys. And just, Eberstein was that for me, and in future other people will be the same. So there's always somebody that bridges the generations, and I'm the last of a single of a specific generation, and you guys are the torchbearers going forward.
Well,
beautiful.
Well, on that note, but yeah,
what a touching moment.
I know. God, it's the first one of those we've had, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
I don't know how I feel about it now.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah. All right. I guess only other bits of business to tie up, I suppose. Thank you to DB. Thank you to Elliot, as usual. And second installment of Is Langham Listening? Josh, is Langham listening?
Doubt it.
Yeah, well, he hasn't reached out on Twitter or Gmail.
No, he hasn't said anything.
No. So Langham is still not listening. I will continue to play this on the next episode.
You mean Dino?
Yeah, exactly.
Dino. Classic. All right. Rian, absolute pleasure. We
Oh,
love you
yeah,
very
it's been
much.
so
Thank you very
good,
much for
Rian.
being
Thank
on.
you.
Likewise,
Mr.
guys.
CIC.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
CICC.
Get Eberstein on for old timers shot.
Yeah,
Ooh.
don't worry. There's going to be a big cross section of people. Don't you fret.
Yeah, don't worry. Like you said, what's the list? There is no list. We are literally just whoever we feel like in the moment. But
Exactly.
you were always going to be one of the first ones that we did. We couldn't wait to chat to you, and got to say, I didn't regret a second of it. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Well, keep up, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Josh. All the best, mate.
Pleasure as always.
Cheers.